Hilton Head Town Manager Steve Riley joining us. Steve, a little earlier in the show, we talked about an online petition. It's got hundreds of signatures on it saying maybe we shouldn't expand the bridges to Hilton Head, that maybe it's time to slow the expansion of our island, and part of that being, let's fix the bridges, but let's not go 3 lanes each way. Give us a little history lesson. Give us your thoughts on the idea, at least, of talking about that.
You know, there's communities, Austin, Sanibel, a number of communities across the country that have tried that strategy of let's don't build roads and they'll stop coming. And the lesson that most of them have found, actually all of them have found, is they keep coming. The conversation we had about the Cross Island is if we don't build it, they'll stop coming. We built it, but I would tell you they were going to come anyway, and we would just simply have made ourselves miserable. Unless the product here, the quality of the housing, the quality of your stay, the quality of the beach, the quality of the amenities, the quality of the restaurants, unless those decline, then they'll stop coming.
Right.
But that's a bad scenario for everybody. But just saying, let's don't build roads and they'll stop coming, they come and we just get even more congested and we get more frustrated.
So in the end, we should be a bit selfish and say, are we doing this for ourselves or not?
We're doing it for ourselves,
yeah, I mean,
and we're doing it for everybody who comes to work every day,
right,
but for any number of reasons lives off the island.
All right. A lot of other things going on as we get into it. Now all of a sudden it's winter. Fall lasted about a week and a half. Wow. Do any of the projects change their course because of the fall heading into winter weather?
No, there may be a couple of road projects that have to slow a little bit. We were getting ready to repave Palmetto Bay Road. Palmetto Bay Road is getting ready to repave,
okay,
but there's a temperature threshold below which you can't pave, so that may delay that work a little bit, but generally, no, most of our projects can continue throughout the year, and we got a bunch of stuff upcoming. We've got Celebration Park, obviously,
right,
but we've got Station 2 getting ready to start. That's the replacement of the fire station in Sea Pines. We've got a whole series of road improvements along the Shelter Cove 278 corridor that are getting ready to get underway. Phase 2, the restrooms at Cordillo tennis courts, and there's 3 or 4 other things that are going on that I can't even remember right this second.
Okay. You still asking for input on parks and the whole park and rec situation? You
know, the survey the initial survey has closed. They're
okay,
working on some initial recommendations, and there'll be a public feedback loop for that. And the exact timing of that I can't remember right now.
Okay, you guys have a big retreat coming up the first week of December, weekend of December, where town council and you all and the mayor are going to be getting together to kind of establish the priorities for the coming year. Your thoughts, things you would like to see happen, since it's Christmas time and we can talk about that kind of thing.
Wish list thing?
Yeah, you got a wish list?
You know, some of the things that we have been working on, we need to keep working on, like the Gateway Corridor, keeping a focus on that whole conversation and making sure that the project is what we want it to be. And that was another point I guess I'd make, going back to let's don't do anything but replace the bridges. That neighborhood in Stony where the 4 lanes goes through right now, those folks have been miserable since it's 4 lane.
Right.
Doing nothing doesn't address their issues, and we need to address their issues and try to help them out. We also probably need to talk about this idea that I've been kicking around of a referendum to talk about how we're going to fund some of these parks improvements, how we're going to fund some of these arts and culture improvements that are coming out of this comp plan effort. And then really it's just kind of keeping momentum on the dirt roads, the Gullah-Geechee Heritage Corridor stuff, Mitchellville stuff. There's a variety of things.
When you talk about a referendum, when was the last time we had one on the island to make any decisions that way? I don't.
It's been 7 or 8 years since our last land acquisition referendum, and that's the only referendums we've ever really done. I shouldn't say that. We've had a couple other advisory referendums, but the last money borrowing referendum was about 7 or 8 years ago for land. This would be the first time we've done a referendum for capital projects.
I was going to say, we don't need to do any more for land, do we?
I don't. At this point, I don't. At this point, I would tell you most folks probably think we're probably done there.
Okay. But capital improvements would be something worth raising taxes on the island, or worth
the idea
how to fund?
The idea that we have is we put this 5 mills in as an override to restore our reserves after Hurricane Matthew.
Okay.
And by law, that 5 mills must go away, and we're in the 3rd year of a 5-year commitment. The idea would be to say, hey, what if we just kept those 5 mills going, but we reapplied it to capital? So taxes wouldn't go up, but they also wouldn't go down.
All right, yeah, and boy, that'll open a different kind of can of worms for sure. Thanks for the time again, Steve. As always, educational. We always learn something. Town Manager Steve Riley. Coming up, pay attention. It's time to dig deep. We're talking deep well next.